Greetings, in the name of the Most High. Things exploding in every direction. And are we surprised? Yeah, I think a lot of people are very surprised at, well, let me share my mind with you. I think I can give you an interesting, I think I'll make you smile here. Number one, okay, so I'm, kind of an econ student of economy. I've always been. In fact, I was very good at that in school, and especially macroeconomics. Global economic system, economic philosophy, things like that. So I can just tell you that my little OJ, it's what's early. I mean, look, So, okay. So I'm looking at the economy, and all I'm hearing people say, I mean, just over and over and over again, is they're just saying, the economy has imploded. In fact, Van Damme and others were running on the idea that the Trump economy is in the toilet, and they're running to save it. So a vote for the Democrat here in this case means a vote to save your economy and your democracy, because it's turned into, America is a police state in a Great Depression. So I'm looking, out the window. I'm looking at my window on the internet to various cities, and I'm looking at things like Singapore, I'm looking at places like, well, just anywhere, just anywhere. Australia, Sydney, Hawaii. And I'm really, so I'm being told it's a dystopian nightmare, and they believe it. They say, what are we going to do? How are we ever going to survive? When we have no food and no money, and the economy was completely destroyed by Trump, and they're just laughing, saying, that trade deal with Xi, he got nothing. Everything is lousy. Everything is horrible. You're going to have to wait for the midterms for the Democrats to save you. And I just want to dispel this, please. Please let me talk truth. Please get out of my way. Lizards. Hey, you, out of here. Okay. Okay. So, first of all, nothing could be further from the truth. The global economic system is perhaps a bubble waiting to explode. In terms of America, I think Trump's plan is to, once again, he's got several $1 trillion lined up of tariffs, of money that's already come in, that's booked, talking about giving the middle class and below a rebate check. They're talking 2,000, but there might be as much as 5,000 people that were cut off from air traffic control and other areas of very sensitive areas of employment, who came back to work without a paycheck, are all getting $10,000 bonus checks. Now, is this? No, I mean, no, it's legitimate. I understand. I mean, when I get to the Charlie Kirk thing or the Epstein thing, everything kind of with Trump, there's a whole other picture going on, But what I'm saying is, if you want credibility, you can't just tell people that, they want the collapse, here it is. I go to any of the sources, any, Economist, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, whatever, any, paper of record, and, outlet of record online. And I'm seeing the amount of debt to growth, and I admit, sure, the debt has to be dealt with. And I see also how the weakness of the Trump administration in terms of, for example, the tariffs would bring America out of economic calamity and already have to a certain degree. And, in terms of growth, you're talking a very pretty robust figure. So here's the thing. They want to stop the tariffs as irresponsible because they don't want Trump to succeed. Now, that's the truth. You can deal with it now or later, but don't blame me. I'm just a messenger. I'm just saying that is the truth. The tariff plan and the debt and deficit is greatly reduced month after month with the tariffs in place, and a lot of them are being adjusted to be more fair and more equitable. And the whole idea is setting up a prosperous, a global economy. And Trump is the last thing he is a separatist. He's a white nationalist separatist. No, he's not a separatist. He's not really a globalist. He's like America first, but he needs the globe to do it. He needs, if you had heard the talk about Xi Jinping, it would have blown your minds. You would have thought this has got to be like John F. Kennedy or something talking to Xi. And basically working out that the rare earths, minerals, which is needed for, like, if you want to build anything, cars, trucks, computers, whatever, you need magnets. Okay, so he's got this deal with the magnets going, and he's kind of resolved it, and he's working on some other tariffs and adjusting, because China can't exist without the American economy, without Americans to be healthy enough to buy Chinese products. And so that's the trade-off there. Okay, so that's in place. And so as I'm looking around, I start seeing that a lot of the propaganda has been spread by the Democrats that the economy is already down. It's a global war. It's all Trump's fault, and blaming everything on him, including cutting off SNAP payments or whatever to starve people on purpose because he likes to do that because that's fun for him. Okay, that's a lie. And online, there's nothing but these propagandists. It's like, look, lady, I heard that. I forget her name. I should name her. This is a real bad person. She works in the studio system in LA. And, moonlights. The problem you have, what is her name? The problem she has is that any news you hear or analysis about what Trump's really doing is watered down 3 days ago news. And then she takes it and spins it into, but here's what's really going on, like a Rachel Maddow. Only it's like 3 days. It's like 3 days stale Rachel Maddow, but it's all Trump's fault. And they're all, doing this over and over again, making sure that people know that since they can't ruin the economy, they can't upset this thing with China. They can't stop some of the global peace initiatives going on. They can't stop what's happening. And so they just say the lie, it's already ruined. He ruined it. And that's all there is to say. So naturally, you, the public, are confused. Because you're thinking, it's already down the tubes, and you're already thinking about getting shelter, and you're thinking about, storing up stuff and getting shelter and, hunkering down and getting ready for that day where the lights go out. And then you've got, on the Patriot side of things, you got Alex Jones and General Flynn and other people saying kind of a similar thing on that end. Joe Rogan, that it's precarious times indeed. And I would agree that it's precarious, but the outcome is not known completely. And as far as what Trump's doing, the plan that Trump has with respect to tariffs and with respect to the peace deals and trade deals will bolster well, the United States would be ridiculous in terms of wealth. Um, People here that are invested will prosper more here in the United States than they would anywhere else in the world. So I'll just put it that way. And that gets people's attention, like people that have these ideas of political global schemes may also have an interest in maintaining their wealth and realizing that, if NVIDIA opens up a factory here, we start getting, chip manufacturing, car manufacturing, manufacturing in general, and people start having skills to have these jobs. I mean, there's a lot of talk about college being, for most people, should be about skills. Like, for example, repairing robots. Take a picture out of the film Oblivion of Tom Cruise repairing the drones. Remember that? Well, adapt, adapt. I applaud everyone working with AI. And you guys working in music, I got something to say about music AI versus video AI, but you really are being pioneers. And they're gonna try to stop. They're not quite sure what to do, and I'm going to get into that in a minute about AI legal terms of use authorization and the actual licensing that goes on with AI productions and where the state of the industry is at today. But I would just say before we get to that, then we have Atlas 3i Atlas, and the 3i Atlas to me is it reminds me of a TV show. It reminds me of V. Remember V? It reminds me of like the remake of V with the lizards. And who were they? They were lizards. They're your lizards. You people scoffing at lizards. There are reptilian people. They're shapeshifters. They walk amongst us. Just because you don't know them, like the reptiles are very well kept in. Some of these people can actually climb on the ceiling and stuff. You know what I mean? They defy gravity, and I mean they just stuff that you think is like a magic trick. And I understand it's really weird, but as the eyes become open more and more, you're gonna start seeing these things. And you're gonna see that, hey, they've been around since I was born. They've been around since maybe before that. Really like. And so this Atlas 3i is just maybe a way of introducing us to the idea that these beings exist. But to me, it looks like a psyop that's based on behavior modification. Okay. Project Bluebeam was always going to be about behavior. V was propaganda. Propaganda to get you to obey. What's better, living in a totalitarian police state society or obeying and having freedom? And if you euthanize, once you're gone, you can have all the riches in all the universes and all the heavens and all the creation, as long as you do what you're told. Because the lizards, after all, at the end of the day, they're responsible for our military. They're responsible for stripes, sergeant stripes, medals, ribbons, upside down pentagrams, which are some of the medals, like Medal of Honor, and things like that. Did you ever look at the symbolism? Did you ever look at the architecture? Did you ever read any of those books? It's all based on secret societies, and all that is based on the connection to these other beings, which they want to keep hidden. And when people get too close to that, they disappear. Okay, and I'm not here to go through it. I'm not a UFO, apologist or a chaser or anything like that. I don't look at, I look at the skies, I look at the stars, and I'm very satisfied with that. I don't need anything moving around, but if it is, then I understand. Okay, so the thing is that Once again, Atlas 3I has been propagandized to make people think that it's a intelligently guided ship that's coming here to begin communication with us. It happens to be the size of what? Hey, I got it, Joe. Manhattan. The size of Manhattan. Haven't we seen that before? Yeah, but I mean, it worked before. Okay, better put it in. Okay, Atlas 3XI, whatever. It's the size of Manhattan. It's just going to hover over Manhattan. And eventually we're going to have to meet and greet and figure it out. But the only reason that we're going to do that is because we're so afraid of having a complete war, a nuclear war, a global war that's going to take out all of our infrastructure worldwide, kill all humanity, and turn us into cannibals. So yeah, maybe we should listen to our elders from outer space, way out there somewhere. Maybe it's another planet. Some guys are talking about Planet X also, and all this is converging right now as one. So, and the problem is that it's all double talk. It's all, lizard speak. It's all has two meanings. And so I don't mean to slurp. I just need that OJ as an eye opener. Mm-hmm. So this is just very interesting. We just had the second part of the ritual, which I believe will be in 3 parts. So that would be the Charlie Kirk assassination, which, taken from like the point of, say, the mafia would be, okay, so you took the money and then you basically reneged on a contract. And so you got wackadoodled. And that's, long and the short of it. The only problem is all the king's horses and all the king's men didn't even try to put Charlie back together again. Oh my. Well, now that causes a problem. Enter in Candace Owens. And a lot of people were trying to get me not to deal with Candace Owens when I was listening to her. And, she's the only one that I knew of that was having information that could be backed up. And even a friend of ours was warning her to not go too deep. And I'm like, I don't think this woman I think she can go all the way to the end of the rabbit hole and not even flinch. That's my thought about her. And the same with me. Nothing really surprises me about this case. The judge has shut off the courtroom to where you cannot even hear a mouse in there. And because he doesn't know what to do because the judge is very inexperienced. So of Tyler Robinson and the Charlie Kirk murder, he doesn't really know what to do. I think in the last video I saw of Candace, she said that she did further investigation and the bullet was somehow stopped inside Charlie, maybe by a bone. I'm not sure whether it was a 30-06, probably not. But what caliber it was, I don't know. I just know that that from the White House on down, there seems to be a this kind of gag order, and instead of what Candace Owens thought was that TP USA would be a good place to start the investigation, everyone was mum. And she's like, this is darker than I thought. Darker than you thought, huh? Yeah, this is just the old, just think of mafia and the way the mafia works, just like even the Corleone, Godfather series, and you got it. And that's it. That's all it is. It's just business. It's just business. That's what it is. And Kirk, well, besides the fact there's a scramble to do a hostile takeover for Israel, to do a hostile takeover of TP USA. And because, just think about your Israel right now. your reputation's in the dirt, in the mud. And what would be better than TPUSA to spread the propaganda that Jesus and Israel are synonymous? Wouldn't that be wonderful if you could start getting Israel out of a bad reputation, start spreading the news that Israel is you can't be a Christian without putting Israel up there at numero uno, because the Jews are the chosen people. And we've been through this. So yes, that's another thing. Would they want to pay billions to get a propaganda arm that's adding 50 chapters per day? Would they be interested in something like that? Oh, you bet they would. Are you kidding? Where can you buy PR for that kind of money? Even billions, you can't. And the teaching, of course, is what I just said. It just has to do with, evangelical Christianity being, taken over by, the Jewish lobby that wants to have, you remember, like Pastor Hagee and some of these guys, it was Israel first all the way, right? And, they have it's not a misunderstanding of scripture. I believe they're all paid off. They're paid to teach their congregations that. Because what did Jesus say? They're Jews, but they're the synagogue of Satan. That's right. Just because you're Jewish doesn't mean you just get a pass, So anyway, Charlie, the mistake he made was he didn't understand the way the world worked. And then I understand he had some problems with Erica. Well, I'll just have to wait until this is verified. But, I believe what you're going to see with Erica is I'll just go ahead and channel it. Erica had her hand in the cookie jar, I think. A few no-nos there. And I think Charlie is trying to straighten that out as well. But I think the biggest thing that Erica had it wasn't really being a dedicated wife. I think the way she leapt at becoming the chairman and CEO of TPUSA, I mean, unless there's something in psychology I'm missing, it seemed extremely greedy, abnormal, almost desperate, and then these, Fox News promoting it, Erica Kirk in her own words with Jesse Waters, White House events with Erica Kirk being, as part of the club, part of the gang, and Trump very much wanting to see that happen. And to do that, the kibosh has to be put on the investigation of the shooting of Charlie Kirk in order, to get, to say that. I don't know what Trump thought about, Netanyahu and company, having a big stake in TPUSA. I don't know. But I do know that now that bird is flown, the remaining people on the board of directors of TPUSA, and especially people like that, one of the leaders, Rob McCoy and others, I believe they would probably vote to jump in bed as deep as they could with the Israelis, and yeah, they're very happy to put out the word that the Israelis aren't bad. Leave them alone. Don't harass them. On the surface, that sounds pretty good. Quit being anti-Semitic. Quit chasing all the Jewish kids away from schools. Quit, with all that, and then a worldwide campaign, PR campaign, which is, which goes a long way into propping up Israel as the most powerful country on the face of the earth, which is quite interesting. I'm not going to speculate further on that. That's not my field. But I do know, and I've known Erica Kirk's, maybe you should check out our video, wrote a song, and Pia did the video, the excellent video of it's called "I've Got Reptiles Inside of Me," and this stuff was all through my head when I was writing, when I was writing it, and I felt kind of chaotic a little bit, but it all ended up at the same in the end. It all ended up being kind of a dedication in a weird way to the memory of Charlie Kirk, but also exposing to the world that Charlie Kirk just didn't have a clue how the world worked or what it was all about, you know. He just didn't understand. And you know, well, he just didn't understand. And you know, the thing is the idea that he would be dead. I have trouble thinking that the TPUSA crowd would have been Brutus, that Erica herself would have been Brutus, a two Brute. But on the other hand, the phone call to little Mikey McCoy afterwards and some of the circumstantial evidence with the cameras and destroying the crime scene, immediately destroyed the crime scene. No funeral, no ambulance, just secrecy all around the place, kept mainly by TPUSA, who is not forthcoming at all in the case, and who all stick to the narrative that it's a single lone gunman, which is probably, I mean, I don't know who would believe it. We've already been through Kennedy and Oswald, and we already, know that there's multiple shooters there. We already know there's, this has got, my estimate is there's at least 100 people involved. But I could be wrong. I could be really wrong. So I just got to go with my instincts. So, when I'm writing a song, it's more pure. You know what I mean? It's more just dealing with raw emotions, dealing with what's going on at the time in my head. It comes out raw. It doesn't come out, in time to not edit it. You know what I mean? It just kind of comes out. And so that was, the military was portrayed as a bunch of pigs. And I think most people would realize the military industrial complex is pigland. And the lizards tell the pigs what to do, And, maybe Candace Owens is about to see it on that deeper level, that spiritual level, which is, it's a pig world, be like the pigs, and you wouldn't wind up like Charlie, because see, you wouldn't be a pure heart then. You'd be knowledgeable about such things. You would know good from evil. You'd be like a god. You'd be probably a powerful magician. You wouldn't be killed like Charlie. If you had only known, you took the money, dude. You can't renege on this. What you could have done, Charlie, is this, and listen up. Okay, I, Charlie Kirk, quit TPUSA because I corrupted it. I unwittingly, I didn't know, got involved with the wrong people, took money when I maybe shouldn't have, promised things I couldn't deliver because it went against my conscience. I'm sorry. That was not my intention. I'm just a man. I'm just a flawed man like everybody else. I'm going to atone for my sin. And Jesus, please forgive me. I mean, that would have been one way out. And then hide some island somewhere. That would have been one way out. How many of you are with me on some of my thinking here? Okay, so in my mind's eye, I'm seeing a lot of hands. Am I right? Yeah. At the end of the day, you have to be practical about it. And then at the end of the day, you also have to look at the spiritual implication. Since they're doing everything as a ritual, and since the memorial was like a Babylonian ritual with fireworks and everything else, you got to figure what's the finale. And I was saying, well, a nuke at the Super Bowl, as a finishing touch to bring in their reset they didn't get because of all those white nationalists, spoiling everything. And so now we have the CIA controlled Mexican mafia putting a fatwa on ICE agents. Total doxing, total murder, it's okay. With the politicians backing it up and no arrest. So here we come to this next part. Okay. Trump's undoing, ladies and gentlemen, I say this with respect. In a lot of ways, Trump is kind of like Charlie Kirk in a lot of ways. And in some ways, he's very cunning, and like the ways of business and things. And he's obviously has had to be that, or you wouldn't be rebuilding the New York skyline as he did. But this is where it gets troublesome. Okay, so he's got a staff working against him. He's got the Federal Reserve working against him and against, he's got judges working against the tariffs, for example. And, this is what, has the potential to help the economy if the world crashes. Trump's contingency plan is to have so much income and new manufacturing going that the U.S. has at least a soft landing, if not no landing at all. Okay, just keep soaring. And that's very possible. I've looked at all the numbers. That's very possible because you've got things like you've got outliers. You've got outliers like you've got, the whole real economy and what that's worth. And the fact that no group of people would benefit from another Great Depression like the old depression that was caused by them. But they're at it again, and they're weighing it versus stealing from Trump's economy that he's creating. But make no mistake, he's creating a situation that will be quite profitable and already has been. And if he's talking about a $2,000 rebate check for middle class and lower class people, and I know it. When you get the check, they will tell you not to cash it. That it's just hush money and he's just trying to buy your vote. I understand. Everything he does is shit. Okay, he's shit. We're shit for talking about it. It's all shit. How dare we bother you with our shit of Trump? So go away now. Go away. Go complain somewhere else. They're talking about Trump and they're not saying that he's a con man and this and that and should be in jail forever and all that. Go over there and blather out your verbal diarrhea all over them if you like. But we've already done it. He's shit. It's shit. It's all shit. The whole world's shit. So it's just shit. You wake up in the morning. Why even breathe? It's all shit. So that's my word to all of you that do that. You have no solution. You have it's like, okay, so once Trump's going, what do you like? Gavin Newsom as president? AOC? What do you like? So who's going to solve it? We're just fucked, Z. Oh, okay, black pill and sit there and wait for Armageddon, right? Why not just kill yourselves now? And everyone you love. Because something stops you, right? It's called humanity. You are connected to humanity, and until it's over, you're deep down, you're not going to want to just be lazy and sit there and do nothing except complain. Because that just makes you like the golden calf worshipers that Moses had to deal with. It's just complain. This manna stinks. I was eating filet mignon. I understand. It's all shit, and there's just nothing but shit. There's no point in even talking. There shouldn't even be a podcast because it's just shit. So what's the point? It's all shit anyway. It's just like somebody gave me shit on my song or whatever it was in the comments, but then in the end goes, nice poem. And maybe they objected to the way I made the song or whatever, but it's like, well, if you feel that way, that it's just shit, why not just say nothing? Why even listen to it? That song was really dedicated to Charlie's plight, and everybody liked Charlie. It's a pure heart trying to lead a movement. And then you find out there's no such thing. There's no such movement. There is no revival unless you talk to TPUSA. They'll tell you it's a big revival. It's a revival in their bank accounts. Yeah. But do not conflate Jesus and your bank account. Please, for gosh sakes, don't do it. Don't make money off Jesus' fame. It's a big revival. We've never seen anything like it before. All the kids are going to church. Well, church is the worst place for them. There, I've said my piece. Now let's move on. Well, it shouldn't be. It should be a lovely place to go, but it's not. Sorry. Especially in the US. Why? Materialism. Materialism is the source of shit. Without materialism, without spirituality, there's no balance there. It's just like I worship the gas pedal right through the intersection at 90 miles an hour. And then who knew what happened? Anyway, okay, so we're going to move on to the next thing I wanted to say, though, about this trial and where it's going to go. I believe it'll go like Vegas, where the FBI will cover it up. And then if anyone tries to bring it up again, they could be prosecuted or sued for trying to litigate something they've already litigated and causing trouble in that way. And they want to put it in the same buried place that Epstein put. And so that's the plan. And to me, it doesn't look like you can revive Erica's reputation. I don't think, well, I don't know, they can do anything these days, but to me, she looks like, I would just tell her to step down. You know, and then the rest of them, all those people that betrayed Charlie, I would say to step down, or something bad's going to happen in the organization or something. I wouldn't want to upset all the kids joining. And it's like, listen, kids, there is no Santa Claus and there is no Jesus. These people just want your fucking money, your allegiance. They want to buy you. They want to sell you, all of you. They want to sell you out. And just like every 501c3, are they 501c3? Well, probably. Well, then that answers a lot of questions. Okay, so the next thing, AI. Okay, so AI video, they haven't figured a way to attack that yet, but AI music, the state of the art, the state of the legal thing is that the AI platforms that some of us are using, I mean, I'm really excited about AI creation platforms, especially video, music, writing, just library, encyclopedia, Grok, ChatGPT, and then in music you have basically what it is all the data that people input into a program like Suno, or I forget the other one, Invio, or I forget what it's called. But they, everyone is suing everybody now. But here's the kicker. The people suing, i.e. the record companies and the publishing companies like BMI, ASCAP, et cetera, Capitol Records and other record companies, they don't want AI creation to go away completely. So they're trying to come up with an idea that if you created it from a prompt only, like you said, I want a song about sitting around a campfire out in the Wild West, and heading down to Mexico. So, and then you didn't play anything. You just told it what to do and it spit it out for you. What they want to say is you can't get a license for that. But in terms of service, I think they're playing with the idea legally of everything else. Like, okay, so you're a lyricist. There's a lot of people like me who, like with my hands the way they are now, I can't really play keyboards like I used to, and certainly guitars out and all that. So I'm kind of stuck there. So I've used it as a platform for what I do is I do song arrangement, mix. I write all lyrics. I output all the stems. I add sounds and different things, and in the mix, and then I master it, and then I output it for your listening enjoyment. So it's kind of a mix. Those kinds of productions will be okay. And the reason why is because I don't know if just lyrics. I don't know, but most people that do lyrics also do arrangements. Like for example, you come up with a melody. Another way to do it that's foolproof is, say you make your own song and your own mix. You feed it into AI. You tell AI you want to do a cover of it. You do a cover of it, say with a new vocalist. You can clone a voice. You can develop, like I've developed a female vocalist, Eliza, and in this last little thing that I was doing. And you develop a picture, and some people have actually developed a whole band of AI musicians, and they actually have a contract with a recording studio. No, I kid you not. So it's not exactly like Napster thing was, because they wanted to put the kibosh on the whole thing. No, you see, the reason they want what's so exciting is, I think Suno tapped in at their net worth right now is $2 billion. That's huge. Now that's a big target for a lawsuit, yeah. But see, here's what's even bigger: a piece of the pie. Now, if they made it so that every time you input stuff, because remember, when you create a song through AI, you're getting ripped off. Because whatever you input into it, it keeps it. And that's yours, your bass line, your melody, your performance, your guitar playing, your singing, whatever, your lyrics, your ideas about choruses and verses and bridges and whatever else you're going to do to the structure. That's all yours. So say you get it to sounding just like a studio track, pristine and perfect, like I like to do. It's fun, especially when you've written the lyrics and you've done the arrangement, and then you see you see it come to fruition. Just like if you had access to a studio at millions of dollars and top talent, that's what you would come up with, right? So the people that use it are ecstatic about it. But here's the thing. I would think twice about using it to publish any music at all. And that means put it on Spotify. That's distro, right? Spotify is distro. I would think, I'd just use it as if I was going to do something for, even for a film right now, I wouldn't go through AI. I would, basically, who knows what I do? I prompt humans. I would prompt my composer to do what I want. See, instead of prompting AI, I prompt the composer. See what I mean? And it's completely legal. I own the track. I produced it. I'm the producer. I went and got someone to do it for me. I paid him. So now that's mine. Okay, I went to Suno and I paid them to lay down this track I want for my exquisite vocal rendition of Charlie Kirk or whatever. Okay, fine. Same thing. The only problem is they own all my stems that I fed it, whatever I put in there. They all own it now. They basically ripped me off. Do you understand how that works, folks? See, because all AI music is going to do is eat all your data. So whatever you put in there now it's theirs, and you've given it away. And if you didn't make any money on that track, if you're not making money off Spotify or getting a number of listens every month, getting streams and then getting paid for the streams, if that's happening to you, then they win, and you've just lost your music. If that matters to you. Now, me, I don't care, because I just put it out there for nothing. It's not even vanity. It's just I have to mix trailers and sometimes rough cuts for the movies. I also do mastering of tracks, for people. I use composers and have my own stuff that I compose. And sometimes I'll feed some idea that I have. Usually I start with Pro Tools, then I feed it into AI, and then I, arrange who's going to be doing what, where, to whom, and how, knowing full well that my ideas have just been stolen. See, they don't want to get rid of You would think that the record companies, on behalf of the class action lawsuit, would want to work on behalf of the musicians who are complaining about AI, that they're being replaced and they're being ripped off because their likenesses and their stories and their words, some of their things, their tone of their voices, that's certainly getting incorporated into the AI machine. And so on behalf of them in that class action suit, you would think that the lawyers would be seeking to shut it down. They want to shut down a part of it, the ugly, but the part where you don't play anything, you just tell it what to do and make the rest of it legit. Now, that's not totally law yet, but that's where some of the experts think it's going. I personally don't care. What they did with this other site, Udio or whatever, Udio, I think it's called, is they block the outputs. Oh, yeah. Now, just imagine that. You make this song, you pour your heart and soul into it, you work on it 20 hours. You can work on it a long time with AI and keep prompting it and trying to get the prompt right. And you know, just like a producer in the studio working with a singer that's not quite getting it. It's like, okay, let's try one more take and then try it this way. So you finally get your track, what you want. Okay, and then you get a notice from Udio. Udio says, we're until this legal thing is over. Right now, where we are is we have to block the outputs. That means you can't download your own material. It stays with them. Do you have any idea how upside down and backwards that is? So they have your input and they have your song, and you can't share it unless you jump through some hoop. I think what they'll probably have to do in the future is come up with, like, when you process a song, they will analyze in each song how much AI you used and how much of your own effort did you use. And what they're going to do is they're going to, if that percentage, and this is speculation on my part, if that percentage is, seen as fair or whatever, they'll probably put it into law where you have to do, at least, a fourth, let's say 25% of it's got to be from your lyrics, your, bass line, whatever it is, you contribute. And, but you have to contribute something. And that way it'll make it, that's not even addressing the issue, by the way. See, the real issue is they smell money. They don't want to tell those millions and millions of people who've been paying for AI and using AI and creating all these songs and even getting hits on the radio. They don't want to tell them to go home. Some of them are pretty damn good producers. They didn't know it, but now they see they got a talent for it. They don't want to tell them to go home. They want a piece of the action. And isn't that what it always is? They want a piece of the action. So they're going to make it look like it's some ethical thing. Well, you should play at least, half of that song and use AI as a tool, and then we'll accept it. You know what I mean? When in reality, it's just like, get that song in here, bitch, and let me get a piece of it. I own a piece of that publishing. And let's have you pay to sign it up. Let's have you pay for the publishing. Let's have you pay to get it out on Spotify. Let's have you pay to put it out there on the, in the Billboard 100. Let's have you pay to do it. And we're going to come in and take a nice chunk. Boom. And you're never going to get your song back because you gave your melody, your arrangement, your lyrics, everything you did, you gave it to the AI monster. So those are my thoughts. Video is a little different because video, they can't really sue them. And the reason why is because, first of all, video AI doesn't use cameras. Okay. They have everything stored up You tell it what you want. And you produce a music video. You produce your music, and you take it from audio over to you drop it into AI video, whatever, and then it listens to your lyrics. It comes up with a an AI video based on your song lyrics and the vibe of your song. And then if you want to change anything, you can change it in the prompts. And there's tons of prompts for video. And but I don't think that what I'm saying really applies to video because um, if you want to make a movie with AI video now, you can easily do it. It's not going to be perfect. 5 years from now, it will be. Will they stop it? No. The studios are all into it now. So they're all creating. They like the idea of not having to go rent cameras and sound stages and just be able to do it like animation. That's going to save them trillions of dollars. Trillions in production. And so profit margin goes up. Margins go up. So that's the state we're in. Frankly, I like hearing that. I love AI tools, video, music, all that, because it makes me. It's like I hear something. Oh, well, that's there. I see. That's what I've been missing all these years. So it's automatically making me much smarter as a musician because I'm hearing many more things that I could have done, but I didn't do. I mean, it's correcting some of the bad habits I've been in. And it's also making me have to be a lot smarter with prompts and about what I'm doing and about the vision I have. And so probably the IQ, my music IQ has probably gone up 15, 20% just on the overall awareness of opening up this whole world of any kind of sound you want to do. So then it comes down to, well, you're going to produce a radio ready song produced by the top producers in Hollywood, sung and executed and played by the top players and vocalists around. So now what do you want to do? Boy, I can't wait to hear that. And when you hear your song produced at that level, it inspires you to do more with the medium. So you are producing. I mean, I don't know what they're talking about. You are producing, learning how to, but they don't want you to be able to work a prompt to write, say, a book. And then it takes, you can have a prompt write you a book in 2 minutes and go out and sell it on Amazon. And I'm sure people do that. So that's, eventually, well, you see, it's going to replace us as writers, as songwriters, definitely, as musicians. For sure, we're gone. We're toast. Actors, toast. Directors, pretty much toast. The producer can be the director from now on. So what's there really left? Robots. And what will our job be? To let the robots entertain us. And unfortunately, that's where it's heading. A real dystopian nightmare. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm actually enjoying, I enjoy it. And I also have songs